In this country, in this industry, second chances are rare. You know how many people never get one. You know how many people sit in a cell for years praying for the kind of opportunity that most of us take for granted. The opportunity to walk out. The opportunity to go home. The opportunity to be present for your kids, your family, your life. Boosie Badazz got that second chance. Federal charges, guilty plea, felon in possession of a firearm. Most people in that situation are looking at serious time behind bars. Boosie walked out with 3 years of probation. 3 years of stay out of trouble. Check in with your PO, don't get arrested, and you get to keep your freedom. That's it. That was the whole deal. And what did Boosie do with that second chance? He walked into a Houston nightclub at closing time, picked up a glass hookah base, and smashed it over a security guard's head so hard the man needed staples in his skull, on camera. With his probation officer waiting for a phone call, now Boosie is looking at going back to federal prison, not county. Not a short bid. Federal. Because when you violate federal probation, the time you avoided the first time comes right back around. And the worst part? This whole thing started because his niece didn't want to leave the club at closing time. Let that sink in. Stay with
Boosie was at a nightclub last night in Houston, and he damn near almost killed a security guard, bruh. I done seen people die from blunt force trauma for less. This almost 50-year-old hooligan, wannabe YN, took a glass hookah and smashed it on the security guard's head. Now, he's claiming self-defense. I watched, okay, the video. There's not a self-defense in sight, all right? I don't want to hear it. So he's facing felony charges for smashing a glass hookah base over the nightclub bouncer's head. Now, according to court documents obtained by TMZ, Boosie criminal charges stem from an alleged incident at the Dome nightclub in Houston. At least it's not confessions. If it was confessions, man, that would be a problem.
Let's start with the facts, because there's a lot of noise around this situation, and I want to make sure we're all working with the same information before we get into everything else. According to court documents obtained by TMZ, this incident went down at the Dome nightclub in Houston, May 24th. Closing time. Boosie Badazz, whose real name is Torrance Hatch, is facing felony charges for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The deadly weapon being a glass hookah base that he allegedly picked up and smashed directly onto a security guard's head. Now, Boosie is 42 years old. This is not a young man making young man mistakes. This is a grown man, a father, someone who has been through the system already. Someone who knows better than most people exactly what happens when you catch a charge with a record.
The Houston Police Department says the security guard, Edward Hart, was clearing out the club at closing time on May 24th when he got into it with a female patron who wanted to use the bathroom. Now, understand this. I worked as a bouncer before at a club. Yes, I did. It was the Pickle Parrot in Fargo, North Dakota, downtown, all right? I actually worked as a security guard at the Pickle Parrot. It was a bar. The one thing I know in my experience, people don't want to leave the bar for some reason at closing time. Rather it's Uber's being called, rather it's this being called. They don't prepare. And because they're not prepared, they want you not to do your job. And they will treat you like a bad guy when you want to get the bar cleared out or the club cleared out because, yo, there's a city deadline. You guys got to get out for us to get everything cleaned up. People will treat you like a nuisance and a bad guy for doing your job. I can almost guarantee you I know exactly how this played out. The security guard is clearing out the bar or clearing out the club. Everybody got to go. The lights are on. You guys got to leave. There's a route. Everybody go this way. No left, right, turn. No, go this way. I can almost guarantee you that girl said, no, I'm not going nowhere. No, I want to the bathroom. No, the bathroom are closed right now. It's over. You guys got to go. It's past 2. You got to go. But no, I don't want to go. And she apparently began to try to fight him.
Now, to understand why this is so frustrating, you need to understand how this whole thing started, because the origin of this incident is almost too simple to believe. The security guard, his name is Edward Hart, was doing his job. Closing time at the club, lights on, everybody out, city deadline, standard procedure at every club in every city in America. There was a female patron who wanted to use the bathroom. The bathrooms were closed. It's off to 2 in the morning. The club is done. Hart told her she couldn't use the bathroom and needed to leave. She elbowed him in the face. So now Hart is doing his job, trying to escort someone out of a closed club, and he gets hit first. He starts walking her toward the exit. That's his job. That's literally what he's supposed to do. And then from behind, while Hart is bent down picking up the woman's keys and phone that dropped during...
So Hart bent down to pick them up. That's when he says he suddenly felt an object strike the top of his head and noticed blood to start running down his face. Eagle Hart claims he turned around and saw Boosie holding a broken glass hookah base and believes the rapper smashed it over his head. Now, fortunately for him, right? Because if he, like, you're using words like believe and I think would have been bad for him. But fortunately for him, the video is actually out there. The club got cameras and they saw Boosie do exactly that. Now, according to documents, Eagle Hart was taken to St. Joseph Hospital where he had 4 staples put in his head. The club owners and promoters told Houston Police Department the woman Eagle Hart was escorting out is Boosie's niece.
Here's where the self-defense argument completely falls apart. Because when you hear Boosie's side of it, and we'll get to his response in a minute, it sounds like there might be 2 sides to this story. Like maybe there's some context missing. Like maybe Eagle Hart was being aggressive and Boosie stepped in to protect somebody. And then you hear about the camera footage. Eagle Hart bent down to pick up the woman's dropped keys and phone. While he was bent down, while his back was turned, that's when the blow landed. That's what the cameras show. You cannot claim self-defense when you hit someone from behind while they're bent over picking something up off the floor. That is not self-defense. That is not protecting anybody. That is a man with a weapon attacking someone who isn't even looking at him. The result, Eagle.
This is self-defense because Boosie was defending people at the club. They don't say he was defending that bratty niece. They paint it as if like this security guard was a apparent immediate danger to the people at the club, and Boosie was this like Superman and Batman who stepped in to save the club from this aggressive bouncer. Man, you go to jail, bro, straight up.
The probable cause was read by the state. They alleged that Mr. Hatch hit someone in the head with a hookah bottle, a security guard at this club dome.
And what's the charge?
Aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. He's doing good. So we plan to vigorously defend him and investigate the case and see where we are. We believe he was defending another person, and so we want to be able to show the state that and hopefully get this case dismissed. So today the judge set an $85,000 bond and allowed Mr. Hatch to do a walkthrough bond, which allows for him to go with a bail bonding company and make the bond. So the bond conditions are to stay away from the place where this situation occurred, as well as to not have any contact with the complaining witness in the case. And we have a new court date of September 15th.
Now, Boosie went to court. And what happened in that courtroom and immediately after is one of the most chaotic legal situations you will see from a celebrity in a long time. Because Boosie and his lawyer are telling 2 completely different stories. The judge set bond at $85,000. Boosie was allowed to do a walkthrough bond, meaning he can work with a bail bondsman and get out. Bond conditions include staying away from the Dome nightclub and having 0 contact with Eagle Hart. Court date set for September 15th. Standard procedure. So far, so normal. And then Boosie's lawyer steps in front of cameras and does something that defense attorneys almost never do. He admits it. We believe he was defending another person. That's the lawyer confirming, yes, my client hit that man. Yes, it happened, but we're calling it defense of another person, okay? So the lawyer's position is Boosie did it, but it was justified. Now go watch what Boosie says on the same day.
And I'm so confused as to what about this is a money grab? What about this is a lie? What about this will scream they are lying on Boosie for money?
Hey, to all my family and fans, man, I'm okay, bro. I'm all right. It's basically a money grab, man. It's a money grab, bro. This is what you go through as an entertainer. The facts of the case will come out. I mean, we in court now. But this is a money grab, man. This guy wasn't even supposed to be a security in the first place, man. This nigga done 17, 18 years for aggravated armed robbery with a deadly weapon.
Boosie sounds like Fox News. Like when a police officer murders an unarmed black man, the first thing they do is, hey man, did you see his rap sheet? Hey, yo, he was arrested for shoplifting when he was 13 years old. He's 40 now. It doesn't matter. Once a criminal, always a criminal. Bro, you hit the man over the head unprovoked. He did nothing to you. And your response is, listen, man, like he did 18 years in the pen. He shouldn't have been a security guard anyway. That doesn't give you the right to hit him with a hookah bottle over his head. What about this is a money grab? The man went to the hospital for 8 stitches. He got rushed to the hospital. You split his head open.
This, right here. This is where it goes from a serious legal situation to something that defies all logic. Boosie goes on social media, posts a video, and says this is a money grab. Not I was defending someone. Not the security guard was being aggressive. Not, here's my side of the story. Money grab. The man who just had 4 staples put in his head. The man who went to the hospital with blood running down his face. That man is apparently trying to get paid. And then, because apparently the money grab argument wasn't enough, Boosie brings up the security guard's past. Says Hart did 18 years for aggravated armed robbery. Says he shouldn't have even been working security. Let that argument sit with you for a second. Boosie Badazz, a man who has his own extensive criminal history.
Just him being arrested is gonna send him back to jail. If you guys don't know, Boosie is currently on probation in his federal gun case. He pled guilty to being a felon in possession of a firearm. And he was sentenced to probation. He's currently out. Well, clearly, right, if you're on probation, you can't have any police contact. And you damn sure can't get arrested for aggravated assault.
Now, here is where this story stops, being celebrity drama and becomes something genuinely serious. Boosie is not just facing assault charges. Boosie is currently on federal probation. Let me explain why that matters. When you are on federal probation, the rules are different from state probation. Federal probation is not something you violate and get a slap on the wrist. Federal probation violations go back in front of a federal judge, and that federal judge has the power to revoke your probation and send you to serve whatever time you originally avoided. In Boosie's case, he pleaded guilty to being a felon in possession of a firearm. He was sentenced to 3 years of probation. That was the deal. No prison time as long as you stay clean. The moment he got arrested for aggravated assault, the moment Houston police put him in handcuffs, that probation deal started unraveling. And Boosie knows this. He said it himself in his social media video. When I first found out about the warrant...
On to a little more serious news here. A well-known rapper with a big following on social media could be headed back to prison after he pleaded guilty to a gun charge in federal court today.
Boosie was arrested during a traffic stop here in San Diego 2 years ago. CBS 8's Kelly Hezedal joins us live downtown. Kelly, you were in the courtroom. You also spoke to Boosie. What can you tell us?
That's right, and his legal name is Torrance Hatch. Now, a lot of times defendants don't really want to talk to us if they're still going through court proceedings, but he was fine with it. He says he accepts responsibility for what happened, and he's ready to move forward.
I want to put it behind me. I want to get it behind me and get on with my life. You know, it's a lot of things this case has stopped me from doing, traveling all across the world, making. So I just want to get it over with, and, you know, accept my guilty plea. I'm ready to get over with.
Anything you want to say to your fans?
Just say a prayer for me. I just need prayer. I don't need nothing else. Yeah.
And his attorney provided us this video of him performing on stage. Now, Hatch, known as Boosie to his fans, now awaits sentencing. He's a father of 9 kids. His fiance was with him in court today. So some background on this case. It stems from a traffic stop in San Diego in May 2023. Hatch was arrested in Choias View after police found 2 guns inside a vehicle he was riding in. Now, the state charges were eventually dropped, but the feds then pursued a case against him because he was a convicted felon in possession of a firearm, which violates federal law. Now, the 42-year-old rapper announced earlier this month on social media that he was going to take a plea deal. And so this morning he went before a judge and entered that guilty plea. So here
he was sentenced to 3 years of probation. This is like month 7, I think month 8.
Let's go back to where this federal case started, because the full picture makes what happened at that Houston nightclub even harder to understand. May 2023, San Diego, traffic stop in Chula Vista. Police find 2 guns inside a vehicle Boosie was riding in. He's a convicted felon. Convicted felons cannot legally possess firearms. Federal law, no gray area. State charges eventually got dropped, but the feds picked it up, because that's what the feds do with felon in possession cases. And once the feds have you, the game changes completely. Boosie went to court, announced on social media he was taking the plea deal, went before a federal judge and entered a guilty plea, sentenced to 3 years probation. And in that courthouse on that day, he told reporters something that deserves to be remembered right now. I want to put it behind me. I want to get it behind me and get on with my life. I just want to get it over with and accept my guilty plea. I'm ready to get over it. He said he just needed prayer, said the case had stopped him from traveling, from making money, from living his life, said he just wanted to move forward. That was his chance to move forward. 3 years of probation. Stay clean. Go home every night. Be there for your 9 kids. Watch your career continue 7 or 8 months into that probation Houston nightclub. Glass hookah. Security guard's head. This is not bad luck. This is a pattern of choices, and the pattern has consequences. Now, I want to talk about something that doesn't get mentioned enough in these conversations. The assault charge alone, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, is a serious felony in Texas. That's not a charge that gets dismissed quietly. Especially with camera footage, especially with a hospitalized victim, especially with a lawyer who already admitted on camera that his client did it. But the assault charge is almost secondary right now because the bigger issue is the federal probation. The conditions of federal probation are clear. No police contact, no arrests, no new criminal charges. Boosie has now been arrested. Boosie now has new criminal charges. Boosie is going to have to stand in front of a federal judge and explain how he ended up in a Houston nightclub at closing time, smashing a hookah base over a security guard's head. And the federal judge who sentenced him to probation instead of prison time is going to have to decide, was that the right call? Based on everything we know, based on the camera footage, based on the hospital visit, based on the lawyer's own admission, the answer to that question is not going to favor Boosie. The court date is September 15th for the assault charge, but the probation violation hearing could happen before that. And when it does, Boosie could be sitting in federal custody while the assault case plays out. Look, Boosie is not the first celebrity to throw away a second chance. He won't be the last. But what makes this particular situation so hard to watch is how unnecessary it was. This wasn't a setup. This wasn't somebody coming for Boosie. This wasn't a situation where he had no choice. A security guard was doing his job. Boosie's niece didn't want to follow the rules. And instead of being the adult in that situation, instead of grabbing his niece and walking her out the door and going home, Boosie escalated it to the point where a man went to the hospital and Boosie went to court on federal probation with 9 kids at home because his niece wanted to use the bathroom after the club closed. There's a conversation that happens in the black community about how we protect our own, about how we step up for family, about loyalty, and that conversation is real and it matters. But protecting your niece does not mean attacking the security guard who is doing his job. Protecting your family means making sure everyone goes home safe, including yourself, including your freedom, including your ability to be present for the 9 children who need their father. Boosie didn't protect anybody that night. He put himself back in the system. He put his freedom on the line. He gave the federal government every reason to send him back to prison. And he did all of it while his probation officer was a phone call away. The money grab argument is gone. The self-defense argument is on camera being dismantled in real time. The lawyer already admitted it happened. What's left is a 42-year-old man who had everything he needed to stay free and made a choice that might cost him years of his life. You always have a choice. Boosie made his. Drop your thoughts in the comments. You think the federal judge gives him another pass, or is this the end of the road for Boosie's probation? Let me know, and I'll catch you in the next one.